G'day there guys, besides you, what's the most beautiful thing in nature? It's your boy Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. I hope you enjoyed today's content, sit back, relax, tell me what you think about it down in the comments and chuck a like on this video. Thank you. Posted by user ThrowawayZXCL. Titled, Am I the a-hole for taking the rest of my family on vacations without my oldest son because my ex never gave him permission to travel? My parenting agreement included the words, both parents must give permission to take the child out of state or out of the country. The first few years after my divorce, I had no issues taking my son with me on trips. But once I married my wife, my ex became extremely hostile and denied every single request to take my son out of state, let alone out of the country. We initially tried to make do by taking local trips, but my wife and I felt that it was very unfair to my stepdaughter and our two younger children to miss out on these experiences. So from the time my son was 12 to 18, we went on 4 big trips that were out of the country. And every time I planned the trips on my custody days and requested official permission from my ex, which she always denied. And as much as I hated it, we went on the trips anyway. I went back to court 3 separate times over the years to fix the wording in the agreements, which I always lost. At the guidance of our family therapist, I was always upfront with my son about why he wasn't able to come on the trips, and I also made sure that I saved proof of my ex denying permission. He was upset, but at the time, directed his anger at my ex and seemed to be understanding towards me. But when my son turned 18, it all blew up in my face. He started attacking me for going on the trips. I tried to compromise by paying airfare for him to go to the same locations we went to, but that wasn't enough. And I've since paid all his costs to go to New York City and to Hawaii to try and fix our relationship. But after every trip, he just comes back angrier because he wants the entire family to go with him. My wife stopped working a year ago due to some issues. There is no way I can afford what he's asking. I had to be firm and I told him that he can accept my offer of paying for his trips, which are not cheap in the slightest, or not get anything at all. And I told him he had to wait for the next 2 trips because money is very tight. He did not take it well and has now involved my ex, her parents, my parents, and it's a whole mess. Was I the a-hole here? I feel like I'm at a breaking point from the stress. This is a real rock and a hard place situation here. Your ex is a witch for not letting him go on the holidays. I honestly believe that she's to blame here, and I don't know why. Clauses like both of them have to give permission for the kid to go out of state or country, but I can see there is a case for kidnappings to happen. And if both of you believe each other would kidnap your child, that's just wow, okay. I can't blame you for going on the trips, but I would be crushed if I was the boy to know that you were going on those trips without me and then telling me, hey, here's what your mum's doing. This is all your mum's fault. Direct all your anger at your mum. It's not my fault. If anything I've learned from personal experience here with divorces is you don't drag the kids into it. That's the last thing you want to do. I'm no expert, I'm not going to continue talking and digging a deeper hole for myself. I'm just going to say both you guys suck in this mess, but besides your ex giving him permission to go on those trips, I don't think there was much of a compromise that could have been made, and the best solution there would have been you just not going on any of those trips and taking him when he was 18. I don't know, I'm just going to say everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here except your son. Your son doesn't want the places, he wants the family time. Yes, it's his mother's fault he couldn't go on the trips, but by planning them during your custody time, you actually took the time he was supposed to get with you away from him to spend time with your new family. Take the money you're using to send him away on his own and invest it in some closer trips you can actually do as a family, as well as some family counseling, because you are simply not hearing what he is really trying to express to you. That he has felt left out of your family all these years, and by sending him solo on these trips, you are making it even more clear that you still see him as separate from your family. Dad, I want to travel with you and the family to bond and have fun. Here's a ticket to Svalbard, son, have a good time. Everyone sucks here. Your ex-wife got what she wanted. your son being estranged from you. Logic isn't going to be able to overcome this very easily because he feels left out. And truthfully, you did leave him out, and he has plenty of reason to be angry with you. I think this is ridiculous, to be honest. You are basically saying that unless OP allows his ex-wife to control travel plans for 4 individuals totally unrelated to her, he is the a-hole. He made every effort he could to remedy the situation. It would frankly be an a-hole move to deny his wife and other children the opportunity to travel because he has a spiteful a-hole for an ex-wife. Clear, not the a-hole. While the ex set up the situation, OP still played her tune. The choices were 1. Play her tune and travel without one child due to entirely the fact that she was being an a-hole, or 2. Deny his family the opportunity to travel outside of the state at all. The choice is plainly clear here. There is zero reason to put the desire of one kid to travel over the desire of 3 other kids and your wife to travel. They could just travel during non-assigned times with the son. I have a feeling it might not have gone any better. See, son? Your father schedules these trips when you can't go. He doesn't really even want you there. Posted by user Lost in Lies 1. Titled, Am I the a-hole? Wife got my sister fired. I am currently fighting with my wife. She has a high position at a university. She has her PhD and has little respect for people who don't have an education. My sister is the same age as my wife, and she is also very successful, probably a bit more than my wife. She doesn't have the education my wife does, but she has managed to be successful. She does lie on her resume saying that she has a BA degree. Recently, my sister was hired as a bigwig for a company in New York City. My wife was so angry when she heard about it. She said that my sister was a liar and a fraud, and that she should have never been given the job. Flash forward 2 weeks. My sister calls me to tell me that she was let go because someone called the office to let them know that she did not have a BA degree. When I brought this up to my wife, she admitted that she did in fact call my sister's job and let them know. I was stunned with this news. My sister is responsible for taking care of our sick mother, and she is an incredible person. She has worked over 2 decades in her field, and she has been very successful. I'm aware that she should not lie on her resume, but the company hired her after a background check, and at the end of the day, who the hell cares? I had a huge fight with my wife about butting into my sister's business. I pointed out that she herself has lied about her experience at times, and that she should have stayed out of it. Now my sister is unemployed, and I have no idea how she is going to pay for our mother's nursing home fees. I have little money, and my wife certainly isn't going to help. This decision by my wife is causing unbelievable ripples in our family. My sister helps pay for our niece's college. She's paid for our other sister's medical care after major surgery, and she's also helped me out by paying for my rehab 3 years ago when my insurance wouldn't cover the full 30 days. She also donates 10% of her income to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. She's a good person who wasn't able to afford college. My wife is livid with me for being angry with her. She says that I should support her and understand that this is a major issue for her, people lying about degrees, etc., and that it's my sister's fault for lying, and that maybe now she'll get a job that she's actually qualified for. I have not told my sister that my wife got her fired, and my wife has threatened to leave me if I tell her. Am I the a-hole for being angry at my wife for doing this to my sister? Am I the a-hole for not telling my sister how this happened? Not the a-hole for being mad at your wife for doing this to your sister. I feel like you should know your wife better and know that she could pull something like this if you've gone to the point of marrying her and probably being with her for quite a long time now, I assume. I wouldn't say it's your fault that your wife did that or that your sister's in that position, but I'd say that you probably knew that your wife was capable of doing it. And am I the a-hole for not telling my sister how this happened? I'd say yes, in that situation. You're the a-hole for not being truthful with your sister. You're allowing her to be hurt and not know who the hell called it in when we're pretty sure that your sister would know who called in about not having a BA degree. If I was your sister, I would definitely want to know, and I would be pissed at you for withholding that information from me. Not the a-hole. If your wife threatens to leave you for telling others about her actions, that's a pretty good indication that she's the a-hole. Also, she's a giant a-hole for throwing around divorce as a means to manipulate your behavior. She would rather divorce you than own up and feel embarrassed by her crappy actions, which speaks volumes about her. Sorry, man. Agree. Wife wants her sister-in-law to be held accountable for lying while simultaneously refusing to be held accountable for her own actions. Not the a-hole. This is spot on. Wife felt the need to tell sister's business, so her business should be told as well. Wouldn't it be everyone sucks here then? The sister for lying for what sounds like a long time, and the wife of being vindictive. It is a huge deal to lie about something major. At the same time, people are not too happy with how higher education and job opportunities are linked to such a high degree. It's hard to get a job without at least a diploma from college. A lot of jobs that are also asking for degrees also didn't always need them, including in areas like IT. Degrees in some positions are not always required to have the capability to do the job, yet are required to be able to get your feet into the door at interviews. Sometimes education doesn't match up with real-world experience, and people feel they didn't learn anything in their degree. Education is also getting pricey to the point people who need it can't afford it, trapping them in low-income jobs. I think this disillusionment is causing people to really not care if degrees exist or not. To add to this, the sister has a daughter in college, so she's probably close to middle-aged. Regardless of degree, she has likely been working in a field for at least a decade, possibly closer to 2. I can definitely say that if I was at this point in my career and didn't have my degree, it wouldn't have much impact on my job performance. The degree helped bootstrap things early on, but if I was able to fake it until I make it for 10 years, at that point, you would have picked up the job skills. Not the a-hole for being angry at your wife. But you would be the a-hole if you don't tell your sister and stay with a horrible woman who treats others like that. One lied about a degree, but from what you've written is a very kind woman who gives back to her family and the community regularly. The other is a jealous harpy who couldn't stand someone without a degree doing well in life because it brought up her own insecurities. Posted by user Eternal Hope 3659. Titled, Am I the a-hole for being upset and leaving when my sister-in-law stole my pregnancy announcement? I, 36 female, found out that I am pregnant. I am overjoyed as I've always wanted a child of my own. I focused on my career in my life, and since I'm single, I wasn't sure if having a baby would ever happen. I was excited to tell my family the big news. My older sister has 1 child, my nephew, 7 male. My brother is married, but he and his wife have made it very clear that they will always be child-free. Last night we had a family dinner, and I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to share the news. Since this will be my only child, I wanted to make it special, and I also wanted to involve my nephew. I got a shirt that read, "This is what an awesome big cousin looks like." I slipped away with my nephew before dinner, and had a special moment with him while I told him that he was going to have a cousin. My nephew was very excited and put on the shirt. He put his sweater on over it, and I told him he could take the sweater off whenever he wanted at dinner. In the middle of the dinner, he took off the sweater and waited for someone to notice. Soon, my sister jumped up and excitedly screamed when she saw the shirt. They all then immediately assumed it was my sister-in-law. I wasn't hurt by them assuming this, and I kind of expected it because she's married. I was hurt because my sister-in-law didn't try to correct them. She just went along with it and began to rub her flat belly while laughing. I must have looked completely hurt because my mother yelled at me to stop being rude and to congratulate them. I tried to explain that I was the one who gave my nephew the shirt. They all didn't even hear me and just continued to fawn over my sister-in-law. My brother stood frozen in shock, just asking his wife if she was serious. I got up and went home. I received multiple texts at this point from them telling me what an a-hole I am for making this about me. They said things like it wasn't my sister-in-law's fault that I was jealous. I didn't reply to anything and just cried myself to sleep. This morning, my sister-in-law must have finally let it slip that she is not pregnant. They have now all called me to apologize, saying that they just got caught up in the moment. They said I shouldn't have left the dinner, and that it's my fault I wasn't clear enough that I was the one who was pregnant. My mum said that I could have a redo dinner so I can get it right, and they will all act surprised. My sister-in-law sent me a message that said that the way I chose to announce was how she wanted to do it if she ever got pregnant. She said that since she is not ever having a child, that she just wanted to experience what the moment would be like. She also said I can have my chance at the redo dinner. I told them no, and that I will not be doing a redo. Every single person has now told me I'm being selfish and an a-hole because I won't let them make it right. To me, there's no fixing this. I will eventually forgive them, but I don't want to do a second announcement so they feel better. Am I the a-hole? Geez, that's so messed up that she would just go along with that. I don't get how she's trying to experience the moment there, just rubbing her belly when she knows that she's not pregnant. And Jesus, your family must really hate you if they're just going to shut you down like that and abuse you when you're the one that threw that and you're trying to make it clear, but no one else supports you. I don't know what your past is like with this family, but from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like it's your fault at all, and that these ones are just clear favorites in the family, the sister-in-law and the brother. I'm really sorry that's a thing. You are definitely not the a-hole, but I'm kind of lost for words at this situation. It's like a nightmare. Wow, I don't blame you for being peeved. Your sister-in-law should have never played along. Not the a-hole in my book. I wouldn't do the redo, as it would be more about appeasing their guilt rather than being an exciting time for you. That's exactly how I feel about it too. Give it some time. Celebrate with them when you're ready to. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back. They were very excited to jump to the conclusion that you were being selfish. No, don't celebrate with them, ever. They blew it. They not only dismissed OP, they insulted her, scolded her, while that effing roadside turd a-hole stole the moment. And now because they feel bad, they are doubling down like a blackjack addict on a weekend in Vegas and still blaming her, attacking her, and calling her names. I'm sensing a total lack of congratulations or concern for OP. F that noise. I would go no contact for a few months. Not the a-hole OP. Have a small get-together with your friends and tell them to have your moments. Tell your so-called family to F off for a while. Posted by user Shaked@Oz. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she's wrong for embracing my dad's mistress into our family? My dad had a year-long affair with another woman. It put our family through hell. For a time, he claimed he was working towards reconciliation, but continued seeing this other woman, taking her on vacation, inviting her to his place, etc. My parents are finalizing a divorce. We don't know if this other woman is going to marry my dad afterwards, but I had decided that if he married her, I didn't want anything to do with her. I wasn't going to split Thanksgiving or attend their wedding or any of that bullcrap. Their marriage was bad, yes, but you end a bad marriage, not find a side piece and hope things stay together. When I talked to my sister about it, however, she had a different mindset. She said that my parents had a difficult marriage, true, and she wanted to be more go with the flow. This really got under my skin. I told her, if our parents, divorced and Dad met someone new, that would be one thing. But Dad and this woman lied and carried on their affair behind Mum's back. It's wrong, and I don't think we should just accept their relationship. My sister acted so exasperated with me, and we haven't spoken since. Am I the a-hole for not accepting this relationship and telling my sister she's wrong for trying to go with the flow? Edit. A few people are saying that I want to end the relationship with my dad or something along those lines. Here is my answer. I love my dad. Am I angry with him? Yes. Will I forgive him? Absolutely. However, I really don't want to hang out with his new mistress. I know that might be uncomfortable and come with a whole host of problems on its own. However, I know my dad loves me and I love him. We will figure it out together. Second edit. Y'all keep throwing around the word hate. I hate my sister or I hate my dad. I guess I should provide some context. I don't hate my sister by any stretch of the imagination. She's been good to me. I'm in disagreement with her choosing to go with the flow, and I'm asking if I was an a-hole for getting upset with her approach towards my dad's relationship with my mistress, since I felt like I had the correct response. But hate? Not at all. You can disagree with someone without hating them. I just think it's a disagreement on how both of you are going to approach this new chapter in your dad's life and in your lives. I mean, she's welcome and free to do whatever she wants. If you believe that's wrong for her to do it, sure, you can believe that. Sure, you can say it. But I still feel like you're an a-hole for saying that to her. This is the way she wants to go about it. She probably sees that your dad is happier with this woman, so maybe it's going to lead to a better relationship overall that she has with her father and that this woman has with the father as compared to what it was before. I can't blame her for being hopeful in that regard and wanting to go for the flow. I mean, he did do a huge disservice to your mother by cheating on her, and he sucks for doing it, and he's a terrible person for doing it. But ultimately, it's probably going to lead to them being happier. I would hope so. And your sister choosing to go with the flow, absolutely her decision to do that if she wants to. But you trying to stop her from having that relationship, you judging her for that. I get where you're coming from, but it's still you're the a-hole in this situation. I don't think you hate them, I just think you have your own ideas. Final update. We got way bigger problems, at least in the US. I have accepted my a-holery. I love my sister, she is the Angelica to my Eliza. We talked, and I know my stance is not the absolute answer. I love her, I love my dad, and everything else will follow. You're the a-hole. But I get it, I was in this situation not too long ago. My dad married the woman, and I don't like that she split up my dad and his kids, but my brother likes her, so I keep quiet around him. Do I like it? No, but he has his choice and I have mine. You're the a-hole. Not because you don't want to see your dad or his mistress, that is 100% valid, or even because you shared that with your sister. No. You're the a-hole because you tried to dictate to your sister how she should deal with a situation that is undoubtedly no less emotionally complicated for her than you. The only thing that will accomplish is pushing your sister away, and I'm guessing that that is not the person you want to be punishing. A very similar thing happened to my family 10 years ago. We had the same kind of fights, and instead of letting each of us handle the divorce as we saw fit, we fought about who was right and left no room for compromise. The four of us haven't been in the same room for 14 years. I don't even remember what the mistress looked like anymore, but the crap we said to each other feeling righteously angry, that stuck. Support your sister. She's not the villain here. Okay, and I think that's where we're going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something from these stories. Just want to say a quick shout out to my Patreon subscribers and my channel members. You guys should be on the screen right now. If you do see yourself, I want you to give yourself a little pat on the back for being amazing and supporting me on this channel, this little journey we're going on the YouTubes. I really appreciate it, and you guys enabled me to do all this amazing work. So if you do see yourself, I love your face and I'm happy to see you. Also guys, if you want to pitch in your own support, you don't have to, but channel links are down in the description below to support the Patreon, the channel membership, whatever you want to do. It's kind of like tipping me if you feel like I'm doing a good job on this channel. I will be opening up avenues for content on those in the future. Just right now I'm kind of bogged down and stuck in Ireland, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway guys, with that said, I do hope you have a wonderful day today. Whatever you're up to, I'd love to know down in the comments below. I do hope you have a good day, night, sleep. Whatever you're up to today, tell me, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye.